returns.
It's stubborn Mario.
I had the brown.
Oh, he had a brown. Oh my god.
Brown.
Oh my
I had
god.
the brown.
He was streaming out the other end.
Of course, as
You missed
soon
very
as I hit
important
it.
information.
Fuck.
Goose had to brown.
Damn.
It was a little frowning brown town.
Well,
Why are you back in
brown,
here?
of course. Because I have to piss. So the other
Relatable.
is not brown.
I'll see you kids in there.
Test, test. Where should I have me at? I'll have him in the arena. Shit, first hydration. Oh, it's Jamie. There you go. Well, this is too epic. Also, hello, Jamie. And Mouthhand. Oh, this one, perfect.
Oh, thank you.
Well,
Was correct. I felt another raven around.
I thought perhaps Jinbin or one of the others had returned from their adventures.
No, my name is Dokumo.
Dokumo. There's a name that holds some weight.
I take it you are an ally of the people here.
That I am. They like to call me Architect.
Architect? It is nice to meet you, Architect. I don't believe that name rings a bell for me.
That is quite all right. I am just one of the many former champions that reside or used to reside within the tower.
I'm interested and curious to hear what brought you here.
Well, I suppose the simple answer is a favor for an old friend. Miss Riza required some construction work, and I just so happen to have quite the expertise in that particular category. So I felt it appropriate to lend a hand.
I see. Hence the name Architect. I think you have built things.
I have. Tell me, have you seen the Champions Island?
I do believe it is the place where I came from. I have been given a bed to sleep and rest in.
Ah, so they've given you one of the current champions' places of rest to reside in?
I suppose so, yes.
Very good. Very good. But yes, the island I have helped construct.
Very formidable work, I have to say.
I am quite proud of it, as I am all of my work.
That is good to hear.
Now, young one, are you going to continue to stare, or do you have wish to join in this conversation?
I wasn't sure if I wanted to interrupt. Sorry. To be honest, I had to do a double take when I saw two. It's good to see you again, Architect.
I don't come out.
No.
Right.
Perhaps it's going to be a little bit hard for other people to take us apart.
Indeed, but I don't show myself for reasons that are only for me to know. So I suppose we'll just have to keep people in the loop as to who they're currently talking to.
Fair enough.
I suppose, or I could make use of my true form. However, it is quite large in nature.
Up to you, my friend. Whatever makes you comfortable, I'm sure the inhabitants of this place would not mind.
I mean, it'd probably be fine. All the same, I'm thinking about there might be ways to try and shrink you down to something more manageable.
I am not capable of any such magics, unless there's somebody else that could.
I'm trying to think of who might be able to. Either way. We'll sort it out regardless.
It is quite strange to see this place again. I have no idea if you have been informed of past endeavors, but I have been here one time on the siege.
I would say I am as informed as I need to be, and I am aware of some of the past dealings that have happened with you. I am quite surprised to see you here. But I'm sure there's an appropriate
Circumstances
reason.
arise, but now I am happy to be here on different terms.
Well, that is most wonderful.
Probably glad just to have another ally on our side.
Yes,
I know you.
that is the case
I-
for me too.
Have I met you before?
I've been around. I don't come crawl out of my hole very often due to being quite busy in my work. But I am architect. I'm sure you've heard of me.
Ah, yes, I've heard the name before. Pleasure to meet you. I am Brutus the Longsword, son of Moga, Squire of Cletus, champion of the Red Arena, slayer of the Direworm, and now vanguard to the Reach.
Now that is quite the title.
Earned over many years.
Is there a title you prefer to go to by, Mr. Brutus?
You may call me Brutus. Or Brutus
Just
son of Moga,
Brutus.
for short.
Very well.
Brutus works.
But yes, I was quite intrigued in fact. It was later that I noticed it, but I have eventually noticed your presence as it is for us to feel each other around.
It is unfortunate that not as many ravens roam these plains as they once did. Many of them have moved on to other areas of operation or passed on.
I know for a fact the resistance has been growing quite large. The number of ravens that we can trust will slowly dwindle.
That's something that I always wondered and worried about, is how many are, like, how large of an opposition really is out there. How much are we dealing with? How much are we gonna have to go through to make it?
I can't tell you how many you will be facing, but I can say that about 60% of the tower have left the residence.
Aye. That's quite the large number compared to the last time I had visited.
Yes. The unfortunate fact of a mad woman making empty promises and using the desperateness of others to her advantage.
Miss Kane, I presume.
Yes, that would be the case.
Yes. I hope it's not too lonely over there these days.
It's been quite a while since I myself have been to the tower. Last I remember was when I was killed by Scarlet in Exodysia. And even then, I have immediately left.
I felt leaving those there during my work was something that the others could do. The wall is the more important factor, my handiwork. The rest of it I felt better not to stamp on others' work. I do dare not dishonor another artist's construction.
So you have been
All the same,
working
your
on
efforts are still very much appreciated.
the big wall on the other side.
That is mine, yes.
And then you have already come across my old remains, I suppose.
A most unfortunate end, I am sure.
I had failed my objective. In a way, I'm glad I have, but I've also paid the price for it. And in a way, I feel like yesterday I had failed as well.
I do not think so. You were in an unwinnable situation, and we adapted.
I
one
wouldn't
died.
necessarily say unwinnable. It's just I have grown weak over my years outside of the tower. Not much left within my fighting spirit.
You did what you could, and that, for us, was more than enough.
Yes, I have. I just wish I could have done more. I'm not sure if you've heard of the raven named Skefa Syricus, but he's on his way to report to the Resistance that I have betrayed them.
Is this resistance fully behind this Scarlet Cane, or are they a separate entity in of itself? So Brutus understands.
They are all following Scarlet King because of the same promise, but they might all have a different reason for it. I personally never followed Scarlet out of my own will. Back in the early days, when ravens were just a small group, Scarlet had already begun to place her seeds, and I have been inflicted with her drift energy for a long time.
How unfortunate that
But
is.
ever since she had killed me, all of it is gone.
So you have had a moment of reprieve for a fair bit of time, then. It has been quite a while since that corpse decomposed within the place they call Exodysia.
I had. And I had a lot of time to be frustrated about it and make myself a new picture of my future. And I have decided to seek out the ones that are still amongst the living.
I would say you've made a most wonderful choice, Mr. Kokomo.
Thank you.
And you, or we, seem to have drawn a bit of a crowd, haven't we?
It appears so.
2 ravens will do that around here.
I would like to ask. You said some did not willingly go underneath the Scarcane. For those that are willing, are they redeemable whatsoever? Or should we, not to mince words, defeat them utterly? Or can they be redeemed?
It makes no difference if you kill a raven or not. They will return to the tower and then eventually come back to seek you out. The most important thing to focus on, at least for someone like me, is to help you to get to the tower and to grab the problem by the source, which is Riza.
And that's still the plan. Granted, we're probably going to need to accelerate our efforts now that Scaff is on the move, but...
We will need to go after Zakon
You have given us a
soon.
path forward, so...
And I hope to continue to do so. And now, alongside Architect here.
I will do what I do within the background. I abhor fighting.
It is the same for me, but I know the way for the warriors.
Of course.
Is there anything you can impart to us on our, I guess, next step in the journey, which is Zakon? What we should know?
Everything I've known, I've already given to David. David makes the impression like he is some sort of leadership role. So I suppose he will give on the information in due time.
Understood.
He is leadership around here. Not only does he tend to the Reach itself, but he's also one of the previous champions. So, him calling the shots just makes a lot of sense. Beyond
Previous
the fact that he's
and
just a
current.
good leader in general.
Is it true that he was the man hanging from the core?
I was not there for that, but yes, I was told the story. Went through some sort of evolution.
I remember. Bad memories.
Speaking of said core, Dokomo, would you like to join me for a visitation with Corvus?
Corvus?
It's
The
the name of the
legend?
long story.
But Corvus likes long stories too. I've told many to him.
Architect, you are not actually telling me that the White Raven is here.
That he is.
And that's a new title I've not heard Corvus referred to as.
Corvus is the only raven dressed in white. He's said to be the most powerful amongst all of us, and only a couple of us have actually seen him once or twice.
Considering what we know about him, that does make sense.
I would love to.
Please. I'm sure we'll all have ample time to employ you in more conversation, but for now, I think it's time some ravens caught up.
Right then. Alrighty.
Court.
The
Today,
legend here.
yeah, I know.
Ah, yes. I've been here before. I met the gaze of many people here that tried to defend this place from me.
And here you are, visiting it. How ironic our future is, hmm?
It truly is. It goes to show that no matter what, the future always has surprises in store.
That it does.
It's beautiful.
You've already seen him, but perhaps it is appropriate to introduce you. Corvus Tokomo.
This is Corvus.
This is the White Raven. The heart of Heaven's Reach. Wow. Wow, indeed.
He is the heart of this entire place. That just really goes to underline the legends that have been spoken about this man.
There is a lot more.
Hear us.
There is. I mean, yes, he can.
I'm honestly not sure what to say. I'm very amazed.
Well, I could think of one thing. Perhaps a simple apology.
Of course. Corvus. I, Dokumo, humbly stand before you to express the guilt that I feel from the day I have made my way into this place with hostile intent. I became the very thing that I tried to protect my realm from before my life of a raven. And I am sorry. And now, after all these years, I will use the rest of my energy to help those who still can take care of the Tower of Champions. I hope you will accept my apology. White Raven. I'm curious, Architect. When you became a raven, how long have I already been there?
I believe if we're referring to a generation, perhaps if my remembering is correctly, somewhere around the second or third, maybe the fourth. The years have gone by so much I've lost count.
Yes, it is very hard to keep track nowadays.
That it is.
But perhaps we'll all be able to get some rest soon.
That we will. And, Miss Dokumo, our past choices, as you know, they don't define who we are. Just chapters in the art that is part of our stories. And
Of course.
unfortunately for us, our books have been written for far too long. But you have the opportunity to change how yours ends.
I have taken that step. And I have accepted the high risks of it. One of my closest raven friends is at risk now because of Skepha's escape. Her name is Nebula. She is someone who had infiltrated Ravis's resistance group. And when this information reaches him, well, I fear the worst for my old friend. You know what they say. You can't kill a raven, but you can lock them away for a long time.
And destroy their spirit.
Very, very similar to how Riza had done to the man with blue and red hair. He was locked away for millennia until Scarlet let him free.
We all have our scars, Dokomo. Past, presents, choices. And, well, thoughts. In our time here, we could worry of your friend. But I don't think she would want you to do that. For now, perhaps the best you can do is make yourself useful. And enjoy this peace and this bed that you have while you have it.
It does feel like a big luxury. Perhaps I am going to use the time to recollect some energy.
Don't feel like you don't deserve it either. We all know it's about time we've had a decent night's sleep.
Yes, I can agree.
Out of all the art that is constructed here, this, by far, is as close to perfection as I feel you will ever get, and I have yet to come even close to this work.
Looking at it, it doesn't seem to be something made by life. It's too perfect. Even in the tower, I've never seen anything like it before. This whole atmosphere is different.
Different when you're not. I won't bring it up.
How different was Raven Riza from the Warden?
Very. A completely different person. Someone who was given the opportunity to live a life that I feel was past due. Someone who could develop differently and, well, I feel these champions changed her. Which, I guess that just goes to show how special this group is compared to the others.
I could feel it. That's why I chose to attempt to protect them when Scaffa appeared.
Perhaps that would explain why you're here then. You've developed a bit of trust through those actions.
I suppose I have, even though I was willing to stay in Exodus here. They insisted I would come here instead. But if that's true, what you say, that these champions had changed Riza, then perhaps there is a big light of hope at the horizon, getting them to the tower.
Hope is quite the word around these parts. It's a bit of a creed that they stand by here. Hope.
I have to say, it is nice to speak to another Raven about things like this, other than battle plans and betrayal and loyalty.
We've all had our fair shares of those conversations, haven't we?
That we had.
You will have many more conversations to come, Mr. Gumo.
Oh, that is very nice to hear.
I don't know if they've told you, but time is different here.
Nobody had told me, but I do remember that when I infiltrated this place, that Scarlet had said, "Why are you already back out?"
So perhaps you already gathered that.
It seemed quite strange because I spent at least what felt like an hour in here. Yet she stated I just moved in and came back out.
very long period of time here is but a brief moment out there.
I was told Scarlet Cane was locked away.
That she is. In fact, if I'm correct, she's locked away somewhere right here.
Formidable. I hope we can keep it that way.
There will be a time where the chains will have to be unlocked, but for now, this is not something that need be dealt with. Why don't we, or you, get to know the fellow champions and vanguards around the Reach,
It would be very nice to do that, I believe.
I am happy to hear that more people are sleeping in those rooms that we had built. It is such a shame to see that island get so dusty.
Yes. That is good.
Hey, Paint! Also, hello, Coffee. Who's DMing me? That's Teddy. I'll have to reply to that later.
It's their own volition on that they said they can handle it when in actuality they can't. Just makes sense.
Hello again.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, are we going this way?
No, I'm just leaving you to enjoy some conversation.
Oh, I see.
We'll have plenty
See
of time to
about
speak.
that. Nice meeting you, Architect.
Of course. I'm sure we'll regale each other with our tales of ventures, etc. more later. Sounds good, Coffee. Take care of yourself, man. Now who is this fellow that sits upon the rock all by their lonesome? senile plant is all. Do not mind me. And which one of the two might you be? My name is Architect. I have stayed here in the Reach for quite some time now, but it's very rare that I take some time away from my work. I have only ever heard your name mentioned a scant few times. I did not think you still resided here. But we do live in interesting times, and I like to be surprised. Well, very good then. Now, did you say your name, old friend? A pleasure to meet you, Architect. I am Sovereign Thanos. A sovereign? That bears quite a title. Oh, it means scant little here, friend. Trust me. It is only a title that we Myconids use within our circles. And there are no Myconid circles here. But there is a circle of a different sort, with its own sovereigns, of which, of course, I am not one. But I dare say they have a fine cast of sovereigns here indeed. I would agree with that statement, yes. Quite the merry band of fellows come and go from these halls, so to say. Very much so. A welcome change of pace from the strife and warfare that is life eternal. It's always good to see camaraderie live, in the flesh, as it were. Very true. I feel like I have been given a very gracious opportunity to be given the ability to reside here in the Reach for the brief time it may be. You mentioned you don't get to walk around much because of a project. Might I inquire as to what this is that will be taking up so much of your time? A portion of my work. I'm an artist, but also an academic, I suppose, on the side. I have been translating a set of books that some of the champions and vanguards found within Exodyssea. Right now the translation is complete. Now it's a matter of putting it all down in a tongue that is readable to most of the people here. Oh, I see. A most amenable goal, I dare say. Well, Thalos, how long have you been in the Reach? Oh, it has been many moons now at this point. Some months. Though, admittedly, I've stopped keeping track of time. Many years ago. I can relate to this very well, as most of the Ravens can. When you get to our point in life, there's not much reason to catalog things. I simply enjoy what each day brings. It's always a unique adventure. Big or small, it matters not. An adventure in and of itself, they always are. Indeed. Every day is another picture to be painted. And oh, what a colorful palette there is here. I tell you this, though I'm sure you already know. You must have resided in the Reach for far longer than I. I have spent a few years here, yes. Tell me, I assume you've already seen the Island of Champions, yes? Indeed. With all those identical houses and a great hall for carousing in. How do you like my work? Oh yes, it was you that constructed it, wasn't it? I had help, of course. Very eye-catching, I dare say. There is a unique asymmetry to it, however minor. But I've noticed it. Which is very good, for all things natural in life are asymmetrical. There's no such thing as perfect symmetry. You've captured that well. There's art in symmetry, there's art in asymmetry. There's all kinds of different ways to define art, styles, etc. It's good to change things up every now and again. Oh yes, would be a great deal more boring otherwise. And beauty is always in the eye of the beholder, after all. Though, where I come from, that's not such a good saying, after all. But here, I'm sure it's quite good. There's beauty in everything, my friend. Even in death. Such a scary concept, death. But, oh my, for one who intrinsically understands it. It is quite a beautiful thing. Sad, but beautiful. Something we ravens have quite the experience with, and unfortunately the inability to move on. Tell me this, Architect. What will become of you if the champions here at the Reach do achieve their goal? Well, if they do achieve the wish that they wish to seek out, then peace. Perhaps I'll finally be able to move on and continue my artwork someplace else in whatever the afterlife holds for me. Very well put. I do wonder where you'll end up. Someplace pleasing, I imagine. I certainly hope so. But that is neither here nor there. That's for the unknowable future to decide. And it's pointless to waste much time devoting thought to it. I agree. It's always best to just let it come. Yes. I find living in the moment can be most valuable. And, well, there's plenty of art to be had here at Heaven's Reach. My dear boy, I believe I will continue to converse with the others. Young Dokomo, and make sure she's faring well in her conversation. Very good. Go on. Enjoy yourself. Stretch your legs a bit, as it were. Until I return to my studies, I will take you on upon that. Fare thee well, Thalus. Be at peace, Architect. What? He screwed up the fucking... Oh, I get it. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I get it. Yeah. He is a Myconid.
Not so good is putting it very, very softly. I've heard the stories.
Brutus doesn't normally curse.
She's very dark humor, let's put it that way.
Getting comfortable, are we?
Yes, indeed.
Very good.
Maybe one day we'll
It does
just be
seem
architect.
like I had some space to walk around in this form.
It's a very big place. And as for you, Ethereal, only if you're lucky.
A lot of people do say I'm pretty lucky. Generally, it's that I'm still alive, but hey, I'll take any luck I can be given.
You have survived some
Yeah.
pretty stupid stuff.
I've survived a lot of things that most people would say I should have died from.
That sounds like there's a story or two to be had with that sentence.
There's a lot of stories to be had with that kind of sentence. A lot of them are just, well, I shouldn't say a lot of them. Several of them are just here. Several of them are I probably shouldn't be alive every time I met Scarlet by myself, but I am.
Brutus has a few stories like that.
Zarya,
Well,
Purge.
I don't have many stories, personally.
how about I have a seat and you regale me with a story or two, young champion?
Chair with the class.
Now I'm wondering which one I should do. How far back do you want me to go?
As far back as you feel comfortable with, young one.
Let's see. You know what? We'll go back to the First War. Why not? That was the time that I decided to poke around against, well, stay behind to poke around on something. And a few friends decided to check in on me, and we argued too much, and an oopsie happened. So, a lot of you probably weren't around. Or at least, not around the Purple Lotus when it was still working alongside the other company that I work with, which is Aegis. But there was a faction that was targeting, well, every city, not just Zephyra or well-known places, but one known as Purge. And one of my fun stories was how I accidentally got into one of their headquarters. Which was going to a site that I noticed that they were mining something. I was trying to determine what they were mining for, as it was some type of red ore. It was through fuzzy cameras, so I thought it was something else, and unfortunately didn't figure out what it was till it was too late. But when I went there personally, ended up running into, I would guess, one of their command units, which was named Unit 1. He has a very distinguished laugh that anytime I hear it kind of puts me on edge, but he went in there because I would assume they either noticed me or was checking in on the cavern. I had two of my friends named Kanton and Noru there at the time. We had some exchange of dialogue with the, I don't know if you'd call it a synthetic or a robot at this point, but talks went down, got into a small scuffle, and we lost track of him for a few moments, which then he ended up getting behind me. For a time he was trying to use me as hostage, and I was going to risk letting myself get cut so I could disable him. What I didn't know is that he could teleport with a hostage. And in the middle of conversating to try and buy time for me to figure out where to strike, I got teleported and was sent back to the enemy's base, which, from all the rumors at the time, or not even rumors, just all of what we knew, I thought I was pretty much at a death sentence. Because as far as I know, usually once Purge takes people, they don't come back. So, extremely high tension moment, being walked through their facility, down into their area where it was more secure, and I was, for some reason, shown around. The details of the conversation that I had with Unit 1, it's been over 5 years now, so it's a little hazy, but while conversating, someone was attempting to track me down, and after about an hour or two through my talks, and from what I thought I was buying time to try and figure out how to get out, I was lucky enough that one of my allies portaled in, and instead of all the units in the area going hostile, they simply told us to go, or said that I could go. And with that, friend grabbed me, portaled me out. Now we had the location, and that led into a whole operation of everyone storming the location within the next few days. But a part of me still believes to this day it was kind of their intent, as they ended up using me to prep and have a lot of key figures that were hindering their movements assault the location, because we ended up losing someone that day when they assaulted. And when we thought we won, things only got worse. So that is one of many stories of me getting lucky. But end of the day, they took out the facility. They did defeat the commander. And for a time, things got more peaceful. But as all robotics or synthetics have, is there's usually a backup somewhere. And indeed, that is something that happened. Not to mention other commanders that were still active and in play. So, it gave us a light reprieve, but things only got more heated from that.
Sounds like that story.
The conflict was... yeah. It's not a fun story.
No.
The one who was lost was at the time back then was one of my best friends named Seth. He was practically Sachi's second hand. Was with him all the time, practically. Sometimes Sachi would say his better half.
An unfortunate story and memory.
It is. But he went out doing what he believed in.
And
A
there
lot of people
is
still miss him.
beauty in that.
There was a lot of parties thrown in his name. A lot of ceremonies for a while. To try and remember the life he had rather than the death he ended up having.
I'm sure if granted the opportunity, he's smiled many times watching you all have your celebrations.
I'm sure he did. He was a very loyal friend to anyone he decided to say was one of his good friends. He'd do just about anything for anyone. And was not afraid to beat the shit out of his friends if he thinks they're doing something stupid.
That sounds like one of my sisters.
You're mitosis sisters.
I'm going to smack you.
That's how you know they're a good friend, is when they're willing to stop you when they think something is wrong. That's how you know the difference between just some friends who are just go along with everything and the best friends who will do everything they can for you, but also stop you if they feel it's gone too far.
Sometimes our family is far closer than many brother we could have ever had naturally.
He was indeed like a brother to everyone.
I sense that you miss them
Which-
very much.
I still do every day. I see a lot of him in his daughter, which many might know is Persephone. She used to come here now and then. The little devil girl.
Oh.
She doesn't come here as often, but she did help in the vanguard for a little bit.
It is quiet and good. No matter which world you visit, there might be different cultures, different appearances, languages. But loss always feels the same, no matter where you go.
Yes, there are many things that are universal, like loss, as well as gain, reunion, things like that.
There can be beauty found in loss.
That is how my people view it.
Oh,
Say, when something is lost, another thing is gained.
For
Yes.
instance, the shell on my back, which has been modified from Lady Hope, was originally my master's shell before he died. With my people, when one loses its life, the spirit is what we focus on. Once the loss has happened, the body is just that, the body. And whatever we can use to carry on their fight beyond their means, we will take it. My master, when he was dying, told me to take his shell and use it.
a very unique culture. So I suppose your master is by you always then.
That is how he would. That does not mean I do not miss him.
Of course.
It is more peaceful over
I would say get up on the rock over there, but I don't think you'd fit in that form. That is where Brutus liked to do some of his meditation up there sometimes.
It's pretty spacious up there.
Perhaps I couldn't get all the way to the top. Looks a little bit slim.
Now, what of the rest of you, If I'm correct, the people that stand to my left all have achieved the title of Vanguard. I'm sure you all have plenty of stories as well.
Many.
Only a few, I guess, for me.
Would you like to share one or two, young Cora?
Sure, I guess. I still don't know much about my own history due to the fact that my world is currently in a state of decay and dying, so luckily my mother was able to get me and one of my sisters out before the decay got too worse. It's how I landed in a realm called Astera. It's mainly where I grew up at and learned the ways of hunting monsters, but sadly, while living there for about 10 years or so, my mother passed away in a fire due to a flock of monsters coming in our direction Well, I didn't know we were in its migration path, so it was kind of difficult to get out of the way as soon as possible. She died in the fire, but I go visit her grave every day that I can. But after the whole fire, me and my sister Cernia got separated. I had to fend for myself and try to get my own way around. But after a while, what we call the Sixth Fleet was able to find me and took me in. And I'm glad they did, because I think I wouldn't have survived there any longer. They taught me the better ways on how to survive out in the wild. How to survive against, in certain scenarios, against monsters. And it's why I learned the prowess of what we call a hunting horn. It's one of the main weapons that I use in Estera. But after being with the Sixth Fleet for a duration, they told me that there was another guild I should probably go visit called the Iron Grip. And so I did, and I guess the rest is history in my eyes, but in the short end of it, I made some new friends and made some new allies once I made it to the Grip, and I couldn't be more thankful, to be honest.
Sounds to me like you are still fairly early into your story, then.
Yeah. I consider myself that way.
Very good.
Yeah. I guess another story, if that's what you want, Architect.
I love to hear all kinds of stories. I am quite the reader and the writer.
I guess a good one is knowing that I had more family than I thought. When I was younger, I thought it was just... When I was younger, I thought it was just me and my older sister, Cernia. But when just at the Iron Grip a while ago, apparently a bunch of my friends were coming up to me saying that someone was claiming to be another sister of mine, and at first I thought it was just my Cernia just pulling a prank on me, because she does that from time to time. But it turned out to be true. I didn't want to believe it at first, but everything she said that day turned out to be true. She knew my full name, my magic, and I've never even interacted with them in my life. And that's when I met my other older sister, Akura, or what we call the Ice Queen.
They're melting.
I
now.
was... I mean, yeah, knowing that they're engaged, they have a lesser cold heart.
The slushy queen.
know what? I'll mention that to her. Call her the Slushy Queen and see how she likes that.
Alright.
But, I still feel guilty on how I treated her at first, because with my sister Cernia, we were separated for 10 years after that fire. She pops up at the grip knowing that I might be there, and I got angry at her because I thought she was just dead or not looking for me. I got upset for the right reason, but at the wrong time, I would say, personally. But we oiled things out, and we're a lot better now. But with Akura, there's a lot of things I wish I could take back. Mainly how I spoke to her and how I treated her. How I treated her was as a training partner more than a sister. And she had every right, and I don't blame her for this. She joined up with a resistance in Astera called, what we call the Rogues for short, but the technical term is the Crimson Star Legion. She joined up with them for how me and Cernia were mistreating her. And I don't blame her. For me, it still felt weird that I had more family than Cernia. Even though I thought Cernia was dead, it's just, I just wish I could take it all back. But I later came to realize that what I was doing was wrong. And I still hate myself that I learned that at a very late time. I felt like if I learned it sooner, things would have been a lot different. But there were times when I would want to try to talk to my sister Akura, but she wouldn't want to talk to me. The only one she would really talk to was my other older sister, Dragono. For her, I didn't know I had this sister, only Akura did. And we came to rescue her from our world. And luckily, we were able to get out of there before any of the creatures got to us. Honestly, if it wasn't for Dragono, I feel like Akura would still hate me. And I owe them a lot. I owe all my sisters a lot of things, but I personally feel like the way I can owe them back in full is trying to save my dying world. It feels impossible, but I still hang on to hope. And some of them currently aren't hopeful that it can be fixed, but I believe with enough effort, anything can be fixed. So that's one of my main goals. To try to fix the world that was lost to us.
I hope that you are able to achieve such a goal.
So am I.
As for being a vanguard, and I suppose this question goes to the two in the back as well, what is your drive for being here? Taking a part in this story? Sounds to me like many of you have your own objectives. What makes this one part that draws you to it?
For me personally, I guess, it's not only helping those that I've came close to and are friends with, but also, I guess also in a way, finding my purpose. I thought my purpose in Astera was just to be a monster hunter, and then when all my other sisters came along, I thought my purpose was to fix our world, which I feel like it still is, but here I feel like this place can give me clarity in an aspect to where if I learn and go through experiences, I may find my true self. Sure, it may take a while, but I'm willing to wait as long as it takes to find my true self and find my true purpose.
Oh, that timing.
Oh, you need some shade?
That might be time for me to go for now. My eyes cannot handle the sun like this.
That is fair.
Understood, Dokuma.
Get some rest, Raven. We'll have more conversations later.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
Rest well.
If you go in the cave, be careful, the rock might be there.
No, she has her own room. I believe she will be sleeping within.
Now, part of me wishes I could hear if people were on the other island and just suddenly hear someone go, ah!
What a sight that must be to see that your giant self on the other
You
side.
disappeared, and I saw you behind a rock, and I'm like,
Yes, there
I
I wish my hearing was that good.
sometimes I wish my hearing wasn't that good.
So, Cora seeks purpose. What of you, Miss Poi?
For the Vanguard stuff? Mainly it's just memories. I still don't have a true purpose after everything's happened with me. But I do seek to have the memories of my past. At least what involves here, that returned.
So you seek to remember something you have forgotten? I see. A short answer, but not a bad one.
There's not much else to say. I help Miss Q and everybody else. But I just feel like an outsider who's just here to get a job done, and then that's it.
Really? I see. And what of yourself, Brutus?
When I came to these realms via the Warrens, I was on the path before I came to becoming a knight in my realm. I believe my gods chose me to come to these known realms in order to serve a purpose, and to become a new-fledged knight in these realms. And via that goal, it is my desire to protect the innocent, to be a beacon of hope for those around me, so that way we may be victorious and push away the chaos that surrounds us. It is what my gods would want. It is what my master would want. And whether that situation leads to my own demise would be a glory suited for my gods.
So you wish to be a beacon?
I wish to serve others. I wish to help and not hinder.
Seek purpose, regain a memory, become a beacon. Well, I hope you all gain your wishes in one way or another.
In the way I already have. I am appreciative of what I can do here.
Very good. Now, Champion Antherial. What's your reason for this?
That is a good question.
Didn't expect it to be turned
Originally,
on
no, I was expecting to be asked. Originally, I came here all because of happenstance, more of curiosity, because of I ended up running into clocks. I didn't even know about this place. It wasn't until I learned more of what was going on once I was allowed entrance that I started to get more involved. Again, more out of curiosity and the desire to do something about it.
May I mind if me and Leroy make use of the arena for a moment? He needs to let off a bit of steam, and I'm willing to be his punching bag for this exercise.
Go for it.
Is he okay?
No, he is not. This is why I suggested this. But do
Ah.
not worry. Hopefully he will feel his old self after this.
By all means.
But eventually, I got to learn more about the tower. Learned about Riza. Got to know Riza. Learned of the situations and some things I don't even know if I'm allowed to say out loud. But eventually it brought me to a point that I wanted to fix what felt wrong. Or as most of the champions have determined, is I felt a lot of the Ravens have spent enough time in the tower, and everyone deserves to have their story book finally closed and be able to move on to their next life. Everything is supposed to have an end. That way they can have another beginning.
Every beginning has an end, and every end a new beginning. Don't worry, broken soul, for life will soon one day come to an end. This is an old poem. Very noble goal. To seek to end a story that has been told for a very, very, very long time.
Just as you could probably tell in Dokumo's voice. They've been around for a long time, and I'm sure they would like to finally rest.
We Ravens have seen many, 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 many champions go through those trials.
I'm sure. And I have no idea how many now rest inside the tower as Ravens to challenge new champions to attempt the same things they all did. I can't even imagine how long it's been to the ones that either originally started in the tower or were the first few groups of champions. How long they've been in there. I'm sure there's a lot of faces if they can still remember that they wish they could see again, and I believe they deserve to be able to pass on and see them again.
Well, I think we should perhaps watch the violence then? Such a lovely conversation. There's another vanguard that has a story, I am certain.
You are indeed
Both have
right.
stories.
He has several. But yeah, that's the selfless side of the motivation. I guess the selfish side of the motivation is there are many a times that I've been told
Good morning as well.
that I can't do things, or that I'm
Calypso.
or that going along the lines of because I'm just a human, I can only go so far. And the selfless part of me wants to prove that wrong.
I like that.
Want to be able to show that you don't have to be all powerful to
Poison does not work,
follow your desires.
Leroy, but I'm sure that still hurts.
That's still like a bone or rock or something of a stinger that's jabbing into his face. I'm sure it hurts.
It's sharp too, so.
Is that architect I see, or is this perhaps Dokomo?
Architect speaking.
Haven't seen you in a while.
You've grown quite a bit.
That I have. What brings us the pleasure?
Well, as you stated earlier, I detected another raven in our presence.
I see. That made you curious.
It did indeed. What new friends do I get to meet, eh?
I haven't had the pleasure to see her so far, but I'm sure that time will come.
This is making Brutus want to get into arena. It's a different punch.
It's interesting to see the counselor in the ring. As far as I remember, he's not too much of a fan of violence.
Really?
Apparently, this is therapy for Lira. Thales recommended, he said.
Last I heard, yes, architect. Thales is not that much the nature of battle.
Well, then him and I have something else to relate to.
Are you tired?
Yes and no.
Are you tired because of Saya?
Yes.
When is the... How are things going with them?
Well, as I think she put into the crystal, we are expecting the twins, and we did find out it's a boy and a girl. And probably looking at near the end of March or the first week of April.
Congratulations on your clutch.
Thank you. And then once they're out, I know Saya's probably going to take a week or so to mentally get herself back into the paces, and then she'll be on full throttle for probably a year straight.
I believe that's it.
I've read the report, by the way, Cora. You've done a good job on it.
Thanks, I try my best. Put in much detail as I can.
I feel like if I would have waited a little bit longer, then it would have happened to me and I would be alone. Well, in the presence of Dokumo, that is, but I think my timing was on point. But then again, I'm pretty speedy, so I could have gotten out of the situation with ease.
Some say you're fast as lightning.
Really?
They
Do
are
they
fast as
say that?
lightning. Eh.
I at least do.
Here's a marshmallow.
Well, it's true.
I know I'm not there yet in terms of that speed.
Well, going at that speed, it can be tricky, I assume, considering you probably can't see, and you just kind of have to determine things ahead of time.
You can't only move fast, you also have to think fast. See fast.
Mm-hmm.
How are we feeling now?
A bit better. I need to blow some steam.
I heard.
Well, looks like you did. Steam is now blown.
I, for one, am going to go stand in the water. You all have a good day.
Yeah.
You
Take
as
care,
well.
Thalus.
Thank you.
Rock,
Yes?
we were just talking about... I was asking the Vanguards a question, and it is my understanding that you're one of their newer additions.
Yes, I am.
If you feel mentally up to it, I would like to ask you what is your reason for being here, and a part of this title that you wield.
Well, at this point, my reasons for being here are a couple different reasons. The first was how I first discovered this place.
Grease lightning!
It's probably been over a year ago at this point, but some time ago, I saw a clock. No idea what it was at the time, but I saw one, like a real one. I didn't fight it, but I did see it appear and was quickly evacuated out. But to see something so powerful, it had me asking questions. I wouldn't end up asking those questions until later on, but when I did, Ethan pointed me to the direction of Heaven's Reach. I started to get a better understanding of what that was and some of what was going on here, but things changed when some stuff from my past. I lost some friends, did some things that I kind of regret. And when I had nowhere else to go, I found my way here. And with some encouragement, I was told to stick around. So I did for a while. And with how nice and welcoming everyone had been at the time, it was certainly a way to raise my spirits after everything I had lost before. Eventually, this place became so familiar that I call it home. So more or less everything I've done up to this point is in the service of my new home.
So you seek to pay back what you've been given?
More or less. I obviously also just agree with the fact that these clocks, the Raven, what happened with the tower, is something that is a threat to not only this world, but many others. So, bringing it to an end is just, it makes sense.
I see. To find purpose, regain memory, become a beacon, end a story, repay a debt. And what about you?
Similar reasons. Mostly it started because I wanted to regain my memories. And I wanted to give everyone else the opportunity to have the same thing. Regain something that was lost. But no, it's a little bit different. No, it's personal motivation. And precisely this is my new purpose. This is the purpose I was always looking for, but I never found. Not sure what I'll do after it, but right now this is where I am, and this is what I'll do.
I see.
Okay, I'm gonna put my gear down.
I have heard a great many stories during my time in the tower from a great many champion, all seeking very similar goals. Unfortunately for us, we did not achieve that. But something about this group that I believe Miss Riza saw in many of you is that somehow you all are different. I don't know what the future holds, and I'm not some all-powerful oracle like Niku Hazuki can be. But no matter what happens, I wish you all peace in the end.
Brutus would interject, though. While you said that you did not complete your journey, Brutus thinks, as his master Kratos has said, every battle is a lesson, win or lose. And even if you lost your battle, you are imparting your knowledge onto us, so that way we may be victorious in the future.
Brutus, while in the end my original goal was not something I could have completed, I found a new story. But thank you.
I do have the highest respect for you ravens, at least the ones that are allied with us. The level of your endurance is incredible.
What is the old saying? Something I think that similar said around here, eh? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
That's quite odd to hear from someone who had died.
You get what I mean.
I do. Yes. I thought it was something funny to bring up. For my part, honestly, I wish I could have helped out sooner, and I think a similar thought goes through Antherio's head. Because we only
Better now
heard
than
the
never.
stories of our fellow champions and how they were in the tower and everything like that, but him and I, we never were part of that.
The champions
We had to
that
catch up a lot.
the champions that have no ticket.
Yes. It's not necessarily our... It's not necessarily our wish to climb the tower, but it is definitely a big plan of us to help get them there, even if we can't climb it.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own journeys. And I'm happy to help anyone along theirs.
I've pretty much learned that I will go as far as the journey lets me go. Would I climb? Yes. If I was able to, I would go up so I could help make the final push. But if my journey deems there's no go to the door and help the champions who have tickets go through, then that is
the same way. And I honestly think a lot of us here would climb the tower if we had the chance. Not for the wish, but to end the story of our...
Every journey must end. And to usher in the end of that journey is a sight to behold.
This group of champions is far different in terms of their story and dealings with the tower than many of the others. Most of the others, it was just a matter of getting to the tower, climbing it, and failing. But this group, they never got to the tower. Not yet. And here they are in this place, growing differently, alongside the Warden themselves. Now, this is quite the obtuse group. If fate would align it, I'm sure there's a possibility you would be given your opportunity to climb that tower. Who knows?
My time with Riza had taught me a lot, and I had my own time to think about things and put pieces together into my personal way of thinking, my assumption, my speculation, is that the tickets that were handed out in the past were a call for help. I personally don't think it had anything to do with the duty of a warden or anything like that. Not after everything that I've heard and also the things that David had told me. I am a firm believer it was a call for help. And we're here to help.
That you are. And I'll make sure to do whatever I can in my own power to make sure that you all get to that tower. In whatever way Riza sees fit for me. Speaking of which, I have some books I need to keep writing.
Good luck with that. It was a joy to see you again.
It was wonderful to see you all as well. Keep up the good work.
You as well.
We can turn that off now, chat. Man, poor Cyclops. He's been alone for like 3/4 of this entire lobby. Just chilling. Oh. It's nice to play a different character besides David, chat, here in Heaven's Reach, you know? Every now and again. How do you know he isn't watching your stream while he sits there in solitude? Because he'd probably look at me right now if he was. No, I think he's probably watching like a... Hey, Cyclops. That's exactly what I'm doing. Well, cool. Can I use the... No, I can't. I can't use the crystal. I'm invisible. Well, I'm just gonna hover around you for a little bit, dude. Oh. What the hell? Oh. Oh. A gift sub. Gift sub. Sniper gets sniped. Thank you for the gift, Sobex. I need to change the animation noises for the gift subs, and there was one other I think I need to change animations for, the sound for. Oh, the new double heart. Oh, I love it. Also, I did set up, chat, I did set it up so, like, I think followers should also gain access to a good number of emotes without having to subscribe. So yeah. I believe there's an egg raid version that I made specifically for followers. I don't think it's an animated one because I don't think you can add animated emotes to followers. They have to be a sub for that, I think. I might be wrong. But, so I made another version that's just static. But yeah, follower emotes only usable in the channel they apply to, so they can't use. Oh, okay, well, can't use it elsewhere. Well, oh well. At least they can use it here, you know. But that sucks. That means you can't use the A grade on other channels. I guess you could like use the A grade while you're here in preparation for the next A grade, but yeah, oh well. Is there like a default egg emote? My God! Look at how big His Majesty is. Couldn't enable channel points redeemed to unlock a select emote for 24 hours. You know, yeah, I might as well. To put in my pocket. Yeah, I really haven't found a good use for channel points. That would be a good one. The problem with channel points, man, is, well, specifically when you're a role player. At least, I mean, I keep saying I want to stream more games, you guys, and at some point I am going to do that. So, you know, oh, look, somehow I made this work. I don't know how I did that. So, hopefully, we'll find a good reason for channel points whenever I start doing things outside of roleplay, because there's just really nothing you can do with channel points in roleplay. Like, so what some people do is they'll, like, be like, redeem a channel point and have my character say something, right? Say something you want to say, but, like, I don't like that because it's like, why would I have you redeem your points to have my character say something that he would not say in character, right? You know, I don't want to suddenly have David walk up to somebody, hello friends, poobah! Like, that wouldn't make sense. So, yeah. You and Spectator Ghost Avatar of the Raven. Yeah, I'm in the Raven right now with Vanish on. Bring back the hydrate with a suitable quick sound beep. That one is definitely one that will be returning and enabled when I'm doing desktop streams. Because that one's fine. It still is going to scare me when it goes off, but that's not like something I'd have to worry about disrupting a roleplay scene, you know? Because before it would disrupt roleplay scenes, like I'd be in the middle of an RP and then I'd hear the fucking gargle noise and I'd just be like, in the middle of a fucking scene. And like whenever it's a serious scene, it's like just kills the whole vibe. I wouldn't have that for something like an in-character thing. Maybe just say something new to the game, just to give an inflection. The character would say something. I mean, I guess, but I feel like that's not, you know, that's not the full thing that the person wants, you know? That's not what you're paying for, you know? You should get what you pay for, right? And then you have some people like, you know, donate this or, you know, redeem these many points and I'll do a squat. But again, it's like, I'm not going to just randomly start squatting during like a serious moment in character, right? It just doesn't work. There's just not a lot of options that work for the channel points for like a roleplay based scenario, you know? Which is why, like I'm saying, like, I want to do more than just RP. But I keep getting distracted with fucking housework and model work and roleplay, you know? maybe this week, if you are good, we'll try a little desktop stream. I got a camera set up. I got a cool webcam set up, and I got it mounted. I got a fucking ring light mount, so I can put my fucking webcam situation on the mount, on the ring light mount. So we got some good lighting in the room. 100k channel point redeemed for King Lobster. My final message of the day. Well, have a good night, X. But also, no, because if we're in the middle of a fucking scene, I can't have you redeeming or anybody else redeeming a 100k thing for Lobster when it's not, like, again, you gotta get what you paid for. And if I can't redeem that, then you're losing money. I gotta use the restroom real quick, chat. I'll be right back. I return. Oh, I return. Okay, I think I'll spectate everyone else and see what they're up to. Sorry, Cyclops, I'm leaving you, buddy.
I have gained the art of sleeping on rocks, and you can make anything comfortable if you think it is.
No, untrue. X'd out.
There's a limit.
There's a limit, okay.
Because I was
Mind over
gonna say,
matter.
Yeah.
They just fell into the arena. I actually have not fallen into the arena that many times.
Yeah, he hasn't fallen enough.
I'm gonna push him.
Yeah.
Ah!
My lord.
Are you alive?
She listened, chat. She listened.
All the way down. Now I just lay here.
I'm just kidding.
Slow Dave, you blessed me. I wasn't asleep.
I stalk them all from on high.
I was in my Zen space.
Well, now your space was down there.
I'm
for a
pretty
little
sure
bit.
there were times where Miss Q was also very relaxed until she then had catnip in her face.
Yeah.
Wait, that worked on them?
Yes, catnip works on Q. You should try it sometime.
Haven't they killed Brutus?
Or perhaps
missed your
the times where you
opportunity.
have used Miss Q as a meat shield.
What?
No, you can
Oh.
still do that.
I
I said she was a third party. She was an enemy.
You are a bully.
No, I'm not. You have not known what she's done
Imperial
to me
the
over the
bully.
years.
I know what you have done to her because I was witness to it.
It's your president. You haven't seen all the shit she's done to me when you weren't around. You weren't even there. You gotta switch up. What? Fine there.
Oh, you can't give her catnip anymore, so
Yes, I can.
I'm sorry. I mean, you can give it to her; it won't do anything.
She said she has the ability to still change back to her cat form, and she might do so now and then. You just gotta find the right moment.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You're a cat
Calypso's
that
gonna
doesn't
be
let her
teaching
know.
Hope some things.
Of course.
Oh, you need more?
I think I will leave the
The
lobby
ones that I gave you,
to Luna.
too easy?
Chat. Let me go and talk to her real quick in the DM so she's aware. I will leave the lobby to you, Luna.
You got it. Have a good night, Goose.
Same to you. Good chats. Okay, you guys. We're gonna go ahead and call it a night here pretty soon. Eventually, we're gonna be doing a raid, but before we go, everybody wave, wave to Cyclops. Everybody wave to Cyclops. Say goodbye. Say goodbye, Cyclops. Say goodbye. Bye bye. Alright, let's go back to spawn. Oh my god, they got this shit on the fucking wall. Alright. Let's do a raid. Ah! I'm tired, you guys, and I got a pretty decent night's rest last night. I don't know why I'm so pooped. Let's take a look at the people who are online now that we can potentially raid. There's probably a person or two currently in this lobby that we can raid. We have Guns, we got Nitchy. Is Gren streaming? Dude, am I even following Gren? Hold on, I don't think I'm following Gren yet. Yeah, she's streaming. That's someone we need to follow and raid, chat. Yeah, I'm not following Gren yet. Alright, we're gonna raid him. The official Gren. Alright, let's send some love Gren's way, you guys. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I hope everybody has an amazing night, and as always, adios.
Where's just the goober?
find a few spells that
I can absorb
know.
their light